Shake It kind of started as a, uh, I mean, it's basically kind of a joke that spiraled out of control. I got $300 from a insurance settlement when somebody backed into my Volkswagen Bug, and I took the 300 bucks and put out a punk rock 45, and then realized that nobody would pay me unless I put out another one, and that was 85 releases ago. So, so it started from there. That was in '87, I think it was, and it was just a hobby, and then it kind of built into like a little mail order catalog and all that kind of stuff. And then I moved. I lived in the neighborhood and just saw the stores weren't really selling kind of what I wanted to sell, but so I knew that there was a market for that kind of stuff. And then if I could build on things, then I thought I could give a go of it. You know, it's back when you could rent a storefront in Northside for 200 bucks a month, and so that was a big part of just figuring it out. Gave us time to figure that out. So now it's just kind of spiraled into this big, I don't know, was it like 4,000 square feet, something like that, 2 floors, and it's you're here to talk about vinyl, and vinyl's always been an important part of what we've done, but now it's more than we've ever. It's probably about 50% of our sales. So, and it's great because we've been able to retain those older customers that still buy CDs. There's 50-year-old guys. They're not going to go back and start buying records again, or some of them aren't. Some of them go and buy records with their kids because all the young kids are starting to discover vinyl again. So it's kind of interesting. I mean, I had this conversation with somebody, about 5-6 years ago, and they said, what's the future of music retail? And I said, it's going to be LP with a digital download. And I got laughed at, and sure enough, that's pretty much the driving force of independent records right now, our independent record stores. I honestly don't see it as a nostalgia thing. I see it as it's a piece of art that is not just to be heard, but it's to be looked at and everything else. And when we opened our store in '98, it kind of opened at the height of Napster. I had more people call me an idiot than, and I was like, I don't need a lot to live. My business plan is to put food on my table. That's all that's all I need to worry. I wasn't married, all that kind of stuff. So. And when the whole digital thing came along, I'm not saying it for whatever reason, but I've never downloaded a song that hasn't been like a label thing where I need to listen to like a test pressing or something online. It's not how I listen to music, and I see the total advantage of iTunes and all that kind of stuff. It's crazy sexy to have this shiny thing in your pocket that has 50,000 songs on it. I mean, I started buying records when I was 7, and I've amassed about, God, I don't know, 20,000 records or something like that. I have no idea. So, but I know kids that are 9 that have 50,000 songs on, and it was all free and all that kind of stuff, but that doesn't mean anything. But at some point, you're going to want a little something more than this. The music is the most important thing to me, but then there's all this peripheral stuff that kind of feeds into it, which is kind of why this whole thing is what it is. We've done all the Wussy records. We've reissued like stuff from the Greenhorns, like a live thing that they did here. We've gone back and we've reissued blues stuff, acoustic and piano blues and juke blues stuff from the 1920s and 30s that was recorded here in Cincinnati. We've reissued Jade, which is a kind of like a Beatles-esque pop psych record. We've done the Sacred Mushroom record, and then you go back and we've done everybody from like the Tiger Lilies and the Hog Scraper and the Knot, and then regional bands like the Cow Slingers, and we've done the Nomads, who are from Sweden. Dan Melchwire, who was part of like the whole Billy Childish scene. Dan from the Black Keys will always stop in when they're in town and stuff like that. I mean, we can't do an in-store with those guys. It's just not gonna work. When we did Walk the Moon, they did Record Store Day, and then they came back and did a signing, I guess about 5 months ago after their new record came out. We had kids lined up for 5 hours in the rain to get stuff signed. Like, all right, that's what it's about. To me, there's not a Cincinnati sound. It doesn't have a single sound. When I do talks and stuff like that on music history in Cincinnati, all people want to do is talk about King Records, King Records, King Records. But the most Cincinnati sound is not on King Records. The most Cincinnati sound is Lonnie Mack, which is like country and R&B and blues and a little bit of soul and all this and instrumental and all that kind of. That's the Cincinnati sound. It's just it's a river town that has some south and some north and everything else kind of going on. In my opinion, like, this is my philosophy of it. Like, being a parent, the best times I have with my kids is when I just slow down. If people, in a world where everything has to speed up faster and faster and faster and faster, doing things like this takes a little bit more time. So, and you have to your lifestyle has to kind of be geared toward that. So, I mean, do you want to do this? Or do you want to do this? You know, like all that kind of stuff. I enjoy the slowing down aspect of it and that full involvement in absorbing kind of what the artist is putting forth. Not just the music, but like, you know, how many people have heard Velvet Underground versus how many people have seen the Velvet Underground band cover. I just want to like take time and do things, you know. I want to sit in front of a wall of records and be, you know, like, I want to listen to Arthur Alexander. I want to listen to, you know, take my time and figure it out instead of, you know, watching some of like my cousins and stuff that are, 3 of them are sitting on a couch talking to each other on texts.